Okay, okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. Escanor fans, Mael fans, and Gawain fans. I need y'all to hear me out. Thank you to our fellow patrons, Red Wolf 4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Sean. And another thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays and Red Wolf 4765. And another thank you to our $10 patron, Robbie Uchiha. And a very big thank you to our $20 patron, Alex Ice Rose. And another very big thank you to our $25 member, Alex Ice Rose. Now, before I'm in this breakdown / discussion on why Sunshine is like kind of an awful ability when you really think about it, please remember your own the Sunshine in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit that little notification so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also I do a Patreon below, each as low as $1, count them $1, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You can also now become a member to the channel for as low as $3 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? All Punter here, and I know I'm about to anger some people with this take, but let me spit a little bit. I'm a massive Escanor fan. Fun fact, he's I haven't made a 7 Deadly Sins full character tier list, but it's highly likely that Escanor is my favorite character in the entire series. And no matter how much I clown on Mael, I clown on the man almost every other week. Every single video where I remotely talk about scaling, Mael will usually catch a stray or he will be the direct victim of it. Trust me, I still love bro. He's literally in my top 5, if not top 3 characters of the entire series. Both of the Sunshine users are up there. The only Sunshine user that's kind of lacking is Gawain. But she also got introduced like 60 chapters ago. I had over like 200 chapters each with Escanor and Mael. So let Gawain cook. I'm letting Gawain cook. She'll probably rise up in the ranks soon enough. But if we're really sitting down and talking about it, their magic, their ability is kind of booty shakes. Let's talk about Sunshine. So the main thing is, right, let me just slop it off a little bit, because obviously I'm about to slander it pretty hefty amount. I'm about to slander it massively, but let me slop it off a little bit. Sunshine is like unbelievably powerful. Pre-end of series. Even that. Sunshine is unbelievably powerful. Insanely powerful. Like, legitimately, it's called the strongest grace. It made Mael the strongest archangel for a reason. It's better than every other commandment in terms of just raw power. Like, in terms of sheer girth, not girth. In terms of sheer power, Sunshine is not up there, it is there. Like, up there implies that there's, like, competition. In terms of, like, external power amps, the only one that I would personally argue is better is the Demon King's power. Because it literally makes you immune to, like, half the verse, if not more of it, since some characters are exclusively magic based. But Sunshine, if you want raw, thick, juicy gains in a state where you are literally like a not top 2, that's a lie, but like a top 5 character in the verse, and even a state above that may flat out make you like maybe you could actually make a genuine argument if you want to just like fold chaos all into one being, whether it be Chaos Cath, Chaos Arthur, Chaos. Then if you want to just argue Chaos at 1, True Magic Mel at 2, the one ultimate Escanor is at 3. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's really up there in terms of power. I kind of don't attribute the one ultimate Escanor to the Grace, though, because, like, it makes absolutely no sense. But still, being the Omega Slop, the almighty slop, since I'm slopping off Sunshine, we're going to attribute the one ultimate to Sunshine 2. That is an insane level of power. Top 3 in the, well, really top 5, but top 3 in the entire verse, even if only for a couple minutes, is bonkers. Biggity bonkers. Like, Escanor alone can run through numerous verses and a majority of his own verse because of the raw gains that this man has in his back pocket when it comes to Sunshine. And once again, no matter how much I clown on Mael relative to Meliodas, it's not like Mael was fodder. Don't get it twisted. As much as I clown on Mael, him with Sunshine was also undeniably and indubitably bonkers. The strongest of the 4 archangels. Essentially, pretty much basically clear of all the 10 commandments except for Mel, even including, like, I slop off Zeldris. I do. I love my boy. But even still, I ain't gonna act like a super duper juper ooper literally was running a gauntlet against like 20 people. Mayel didn't come in the afternoon and still low-key start piecing up, mentally amps Zeldris up. Sure, Zeldris was fatigued too. I made a whole video talking about Zeldris versus Mayel. Yeah, obviously, there's some stuff up in the air, but I still, 9 out of 10 times, I give it to Mayel. Once again, that was afternoon Mayel. Lord forbid, heavens forbid, it was morning Mayel, or gosh, giggity gosh darn the one. Like, legitimately, Mayel would have knocked the taste out of Zeldris' mouth. And there was a Mayel that didn't even want to fight Zeldris. Like, Mayel had every single reason to be absolute fodder against a mentally amped, bloodlusted, crazy, through the moon Zeldris. But he still was low-key dogging on him. Sure, he did wait to sneak Zeldris after Zeldris got another mental amp. But regardless, Mayel was bonkers for that alone. On top of being the strongest Archangel, stated numerous times, I lean in the camp that Elizabeth is stronger than Mayel. I lean towards that. But let's not. Let's just push that to the side. Let's just absolutely ignore any evidence for that. Mayel is noted, I think, like once or twice, maybe even 3 times, the strongest fighter of the Goddess clan. The strongest. That includes Elizabeth, the daughter of the supreme deity that was established as an equal to Mayel. Mayel's put up there. And guess what? All that ain't because of Mayel's own natural talent, his innate strength. None of that. No, it's because of that thick, juicy, and girthy sunshine that he's got coursing through his veins. Mayel was sunshine as him. Sunshine makes Mayel him. Do not get me wrong. Don't even get me remotely twisted. It really be like that when it be like that, especially when it be like that. Even moving to the most recent wielder of sunshine. Sure, she's not him, because him is Lance, but let's not act like Gawain is fodder either. Like, legitimately pulling up round start. We haven't even hit the 100 chapter mark, and she's already pulling up out here, Duranegging, slamming, eating, tanking hits from Chaos Galland, like capital C Galland. And like, once again, we are not doing any refutations. We are purely slopping right now. If we want to take Gallant at face value, bro is stronger than Escanor with Rita. Stronger than Escanor with Rita. So he straight up believes that there's nothing on this earth that can pierce him. If we really want to slop him off, just a little bit, we really want to slop it off, he should be insanely powerful, like unbelievably powerful, beyond commandments here. But once again, I'm not going too crazy. So like, Chaos Gallant, this commandment, high commandment tier threat, runs into Gawain, and Gawain really starts just eating, munching, crunching, like a fully balanced breakfast. Every single one of Gallant's hits, just tasty, wonderful, girthy, gorgeous. Ate all that wonderful breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack in between, and proceeded to use the magical abilities granted to her by a certain Grace to teleport Duraneg slice to him easy. And then don't even stop there. Gawain, after doing a whole bunch of fisticuffing, pulls up on Melagland, the fused Chaos Commandment, like legitimately a monster of monsters of a fighter, and proceeded to, with the remains of her sunshine juice, light him up with a sunshine burst that was cooking Melagallon like a Thanksgiving turkey. All that was sunshine. And here's the thing, not even stop there. Pelgard, the Black Knight, one of the 4 perils, one of the Chaos Knights of Camelotto, who pulls up on Gawain. Well, not on Gawain, in the general vicinity of Gawain. Gawain strolls up, not even anywhere near her full power, using just a little peek, just a little hit of that sunshine juice, pops Pelgard's attack, and sends Pelgard flying just by flexing her aura. And all of that is sunshine, that good sunshine, that ain't moonshine, it's sunshine. That's what we're talking about here. That is all sunshine. These 3 characters, if we are talking about sheer, raw, unadulterated power, would be nothing, not fodder without sunshine. And this is confirmed. Like, I'm not even... Well, okay, maybe Gawain. Gawain's weird. But, like, we haven't seen much of mini Gawain. The one fight she could have had was entirely off screen. So we don't know. So what we do know is that you take away sunshine from Escanor, and bro's fodder. Like legitimately fodder. Like bro is absolutely booty cheeks. Like weaker than Hawk. That's how fodder he is. And like I get it, Hawk is super duper powerful. He is the second strongest in the verse right after Sylvan, but still unbelievably fodder. And then look at Mael. We all saw Cursed by Light. We saw what was happening to base Mael. Base Mael, no sunshine. Absolute booty cheeks. Absolute booty cheeks. Fodder, McDaughter. Like legitimately garbage water. Gawain's up in the air, mainly because we haven't seen much of base Gawain, so we'll get to that. We'll put a rain check on that one. We'll come back another day to determine how powerful she is without sunshine. But we know that all their gains, all their feats can be attributed to that big old beautiful burning ball of gas in the sky, burning millions upon millions of miles away. Shout out to my warthog brother from another mother. That man was spitting. And I hope I've managed to sufficiently slop off sunshine enough. I hope I got y'all feeling all nice and good. Got your Mael fans feeling all nice and excited. Wow, Pencil's not absolutely dookie on my favorite character anymore. I hope y'all Escanor fans are doing a little jig in your boots because like, oh wow, okay. He's slopping off Escanor just a little bit. Oh, y'all Gawain fans, all five of y'all. I'm kidding. Like all five of y'all all nice and prepared and all happy. Because now I'm about to dookie on Sunshine. Because Sunshine's kind of cheeks. Number one, how are you going to have a decent amount of power locked off for a majority of the time? Like, legitimately, you want to beat a Sunshine user? Wait till 6 p.m. 7 during summertime. Bada bing, bada boom, and you're body bagging them. The fact that they do not have access to their power for over half, usually, depending on the season, half of the day is wild. Like usually we are all generous. Whenever we do battles, we are like, oh, well, even if it's in character for character A to sneak character B, they're going to have a head-on fight. And usually when we do that, we do standard battle assumptions. We're like, okay, so and it's nice enough. We're going to give them access to that power for a majority of the time. Wow. For some reason, despite knowing that they're going to be fighting Escanor, Gawain, or Mael, they did happen to run up on them at like 11:30 or like 11:55. They're right close to noon. They have their peak power on the way. That's fine. But think about it. Like in verse, all you need to do is wait. Wait, not even a full day. Wait until the sun starts to dip just a little bit, and suddenly you don't have to worry about the peak of their power anymore. That is locked off to them. For more than it isn't, they are legitimate fodder. And like, once again, base Gawain up in the air. But the fact that Escanor and Mael, two extremely powerful characters when they have their power, don't have ready access to it. Like, think about almost every other character in the series. Think of the high tiers. Think of the top tiers. Think of the deity tiers in the series. Now, imagine if they couldn't use their power, not even their full power. Imagine they couldn't use a fat chunk of their power a solid 50% of the time. Realistically, I don't think Top of the Morning Escanor is all that viable. Like, being completely honest with you, I don't think Top of the Morning Escanor or Mael or Gawain is realistically that viable. I'm not throwing, it's the crack of dawn, Mael, Escanor, Gawain at anybody in a battle. Because there's just nothing. They ain't got nothing for that. You gotta wait a solid couple hours. I don't know about y'all, but like usually, like being generous, the crack of dawn, there's like at least 4 or 5, sometimes depending on the season, 6 hours in between noon and the crack of dawn. So like the amount of time where they are just they're either fodder, like literally straight up booty meat, to slightly less booty meat to decent. Like there's a whole chunk of time where a Sunshine user is just not viable at all. They can get snuck, and it's not hard to tell too. That's another big issue with Sunshine. People can just tell when your power is going to be at its peak, at its weakest, anything, because they can feel it. They can feel it in their bones. Wait a second. Ooh, they're getting swole. Let me dip out real quick. Let me see the sun hit its apex. Let me roll back. Let me spin back real quick. And then what are you meant to do? As a Sunshine user, unless you're literally Escanor, aka sacrificing your lifespan in order to maintain a state or exceed your current level of power, if someone spins back on you at like 11 or at 12:01, you don't have the 1 on the docket anymore. You do not have your full peak power at the table. You are going to be consistently getting weaker. Heavens forbid your opponent's just a little bit bulky and can eat a couple of your hits. Let's hope to the heavens they don't have regen or anything and they can just hold out for a little bit. They will legit just stall you. They will stall you. And don't get me wrong, other characters can lose stamina. Other characters can be extremely powerful and have super duper low stamina. Characters can be like that. But King does not have to wait until like 11 o'clock in the day to get viable. Bond does not have to wait till like 11 o'clock in the day to get viable. Merlin doesn't have to wait. Like, you get my point, right? Like, legitimately, the fact that Sunshine users cannot be proper Sunshine users for a majority of the day without drastic repercussions, like literally perishing, is kind of wild. Just a little bit bonkers. Like, the worst thing about it is that there's just no way to compensate for it either. Like, the only times we've seen it compensated for, we've seen a Sunshine user break their limits and pull it out, is once again when they were literally sacrificing their life force and or they were literally having their soul manipulated by an external force. And even then, the change only lasted seconds. Like, it's bonkers for the fact that they do not have access to that power. Like, legitimately, any person with a little bit of longevity beats a Sunshine user. Any person with a slight, like, if you are relative to a Sunshine user at their peak or near their peak of power, and you can survive that 1 minute, or you catch them right after that 1 minute is up, they lose. Like there's really nothing they can do. Like, characters diminish in power. Characters lose stamina, but they don't lose power. Like, Full Wings King got tired. Bond got tired. Meliodas got tired. But, like, running out of strength and then being stuck without your strength for like 12 hours, like, that is wild. Biggity bonkers. You want to know what else is biggity bonkers? The fact that their peak, their pinnacle, their purest state of absolute power only lasts 1 minute. 1 minute. Like, even with how fast things move within the Seven Deadly Sins universe, obviously you got a bunch of characters throwing around light attacks and stuff like that, and characters avoiding, dodging, moving, bobbing, schweeving, fodder, moving, bobbing, schweeving. So obviously things move quick within the Seven Deadly Sins universe, don't get me wrong, but, like, you can be stalled out for a minute. You can be held off for a minute. You can be ran from for a minute. And then what do you do? What do you do? Like, don't get me wrong. Once again, back to the slop. The 1 is inarguably, like, I'd say next to true magic in comparison from, like, base to next level transformation. The 1 is pretty much the fattest leap. It is the biggest leap, more than a Demon Mark. I'd say more than even Assault Mode, more than Triskelion activation. The 1 is a massive leap in power, but the fact that it's not on command and it's only for 1 minute is crazy. Like, legitimately, that is absolutely wild. You don't have access to your peak of power at will. And don't get me wrong, there are characters who get, like, mental amps and, like, soul amps or whatever, or amps in general, where the true peak of their power when they, like, perform their best is under a state where they usually don't have access to. But, like, transformation to one's full power, they should always have access to that, but Sunshine users just don't. And that's pretty booty butt cheeks. Speaking of booty butt cheeks, you want to know what else is booty butt cheeks? At least 2 human users will perish from it. And we don't know. It could still have a negative impact on Mael's lifespan. We just don't have a clue in terms of whether or not it does. So the fact that Sunshine doesn't just, like, coexist with you, no. Even if you are legitimately born with it, like, it waited 3,000 years so it could get up in your guts, regardless of any of that, nah, B, you still stuck out a lot. You gonna perish at, like, 40 at most. Like, how old was Escanor? Escanor was young, relatively. How old is Bartra? Bartra's like 2 Escanors old. But nope, because of that juicy sun, Escanor just didn't get to do it. And notably, Escanor was not using Sunshine for like 10 years straight. And then he burned through the rest of his lifespan in, like, the matter of a year. That's how crazy the life drain is on Sunshine for actually using it in battle. So it's a super crazy, powerful, top of the line ability, but if you use it at all, you perish. Like you just can't cease, or you can't continue. You will cease. You will cease if you keep using Sunshine. That's wild. Like, imagine if using one of your arms just like shorten your lifespan, just like that. Like wiggling your toes just took a year off your lifespan. Like, that is crazy. Just using a basic function destroys you internally. That's wild. Is that really a top tier power? Like, is that really up there with the likes of Disaster, the Demon King's power, the Ruler, the Supreme Deity's physical immunity, Snatch, True Magic? Like, is Sunshine really up there? Like, think about it. I'm comparing Sunshine to its contemporaries, just like the other magics in the verse. Would you, a regular dude, like, you're just an Escanor, you're probably even buffer than Escanor, to be real, because, like, regular nighttime Escanor is kind of just even, like, scrawnier than most average people, probably, like, 90 pounds soaking wet. So if I were to come to you with a trade offer, and by trade, I mean, like, I'm here to gift you something, would you really take Sunshine? Like, say I just had to offer you the other 4 graces. How would you feel knowing that whenever you go to sleep at night, you are now vulnerable? You are just the exact same as you were, with no other way to become stronger. You're going to have to wait till that sun pops up, or else you're just fodder. Personally, I wouldn't take Sunshine. I'd take Ocean. And then I take Flash, then I take Tornado, and if I had no other option, say me and 4 friends got to pick graces and I drew the last lot, then I'd have to take Sunshine, because Sunshine's kinda cheeks. It's kinda cheeks. No full access to your real power at will, unless you literally want to perish, even faster than you are already perishing. And think about it comparatively. What does Sunshine do? It destroys things. You literally can't even coexist with other people most of the time. Like, legitimately, your presence is so hot that it's melting the armors of other people. Like, solid metal is being turned to liquid simply by you existing in the very same area as others. You are burning people to crisp by breathing the same air as them. Does that sound fun? Does that sound pleasurable? Does that sound like something you're into? Because if it is, I don't judge. It's 2023. But regardless, like, is that really what you're rocking with? That's the kind of ability you want? And let's be real. As a wiser man than me once said, Escanor doesn't have hacks. His hacks is that he's one of the physically strongest and fastest characters in the verse. Mael does have some hacks, like Arc is pretty hacked out. But like Mael and Sunshine, they ain't really hacks. The hacks is that they're one of the strongest and fastest characters in the verse. Gawain is pretty hacks, like seriously hacks. But in terms of Sunshine doesn't actually give you that many hacks other than melting things. But as we see later on in the series, yeah, if you're just strong enough, Escanor ain't gonna melt you. His heat hacks are worthless. He might as well just be hitting you with balls of energy. He might as well be swinging his big old energy balls at you. Sorry. I have like the emotional maturity of like a 12-year-old. But regardless, like, that's it. Like, if you can just tank a Sunshine, that's it. They have no special properties. Escanor has no special properties. He just needs to hit you hard. If you can hit with the same level of force Escanor does and you have 1 hacks, you beat Escanor. If you can hit with the same level of force that Mael does and you have like a singular hacks, you can beat Mael. If you hit with the same level of force that Gawain does and you have a singular hacks, you can beat Gawain until she direct necks you. Or until Mael like fires an arc beam through your forehead. But like, regardless, you do not get any hacks out of Sunshine, especially relative to its contemporaries. Like, you gotta really think about it. Like, the only other Sin magic that is less hacked than Sunshine is Creation. And realistically, it isn't. Because at least you can make like semi-autonomous puppets with Creation. You can't do that with Sunshine. Your fire is not going to be sentient. You cannot manipulate terrain like that. All you gonna do is melt it. Like, legitimately, Sunshine doesn't bring anything. True Magic gives you something like Existence Erasure. That's a little bit bonker. Like, Existence Erasure that works across space-times. That's how effective that thing is. That's a really good hacks. Infinity gives you just access to infinite amounts of all the other hacks you have in your arsenal. That's a little bit crazy. Snatch gives you access to the ability to absolutely annihilate your presence, wipe that out, tear out organs, teeth, anything and even mess around and truly just steal stats from other people. That's a little bit crazy. Disaster literally says, no, your wound isn't the size of a paper cut. No, your wound is the size of a piece of paper. And then bada bing, bada boom, it tears you wide open. And also, all the poison and good stuff like that. You get good. Do I need to go over invasion and how absolutely insane that is? All of those are extremely hacked, like insanely hacked to a point of actual concern. And then you have Sunshine, which is Big Ball of Fire, which, if you are strong enough, doesn't actually do much. It can just be like reflected or thrown away or blocked. And what else? Like, what other abilities does Escanor have? Like nothing. All he has is fire. And don't get me wrong, fire is fine enough, but it's nothing too crazy. Sunshine doesn't give you anything too crazy. And what? I just compared it to the Sins magic. Let's compare it to the other Archangels. We have not seen whether or not Sunshine can actually give you access to Domain of God. So that's a whole other BFR technique that you just don't have access to if you have Sunshine, that you would have access to if you had either Ocean or Tornado. And it's not like Ocean or Tornado are bad in their own right, because once again, going back to an earlier weakness, they have their power at all times. Escanor, Mael, and Gawain don't. They have their raw power and all their abilities at all times. Meanwhile, it's nighttime. Whoopsie, I guess I'm fodder. It's like crack of dawn, or it's about to set. The sun's about to set. I'm fodder again, or at least near it. Like, legitimately, that kind of lack of ability, the lack of ability to use your ability is crazy, on top of the fact that your ability doesn't give you any fancy hacks. And don't get me wrong, it's not like Tornado is the most overly hacked out thing, but a free wind barrier is nice. You wouldn't even get a fire barrier with Escanor. You would have to make one of those things. You have to hop inside your own Cruel Sun. Meanwhile, Tornado gives you a nice juicy windshield. Tarmiel, liquefy anything that tries to give in your guts. And then bada bing, bada boom, you're all good. You took absolutely no damage, which is crazier than anything that Sunshine can lay claim to. You're lacking BFR with Sunshine, and you're lacking that insane durability with Sunshine. That's a 2-for-2 loss right there. The only thing that may be comparable is Flash, but once again, need I remind you, Flash is something that Ludishok can use whenever he needs to use Flash. It can be at night, it can be in the middle of the day, it can be at dawn, it can be at dusk. Meanwhile, a Sunshine wielder is only viable near noon, or like early afternoon, late morning. That is it. They got like a 2-hour window of actually being relevant, while everyone else has at least 24. Like, that is crazy to me. That is crazy how booty water Sunshine is. It ain't got no hacks. It takes your lifespan away, and it's still not the best in terms of raw power out there. Like, here's the thing, right? It'd be one thing if Sunshine did all that, like, really was just absolute, like, tear you apart, not give you access to all that power, all that, if it literally just made you the strongest in the verse. And for a while, it seemed to, before we were introduced to the Demon King, when Sunshine was first introduced, it seemed like Sunshine really did that for you. But no. At no time was Sunshine something that made you strongest in the verse. You were always number 3. And that was if you, like, folded Chaos and all the variants of Chaos users into one character. Realistically, you're like top 5, maybe 6. You could even slop off the Demon King a little bit and put, like, a version of the Demon King even higher. So maybe even top 6, 7. Like, legitimately, it's a little bit embarrassing. It's a little bit embarrassing that you do all that for that power. You only get access to it for a very small, super small fraction of the day, as you already lose your lifespan, and still you aren't even the strongest. That's wild. Those are my big issues with Sunshine. That's why I'm like, it's kind of booty cheeks. You get no fancy hacks with it, nothing, not even body restructuring, not anything like that. No, it's just hot around you, I guess. That's neat enough, but not enough. No BFR, nothing like that you get with the other graces, or even as good as any of the other 7 Deadly Sins abilities, which all come with power and hacks. Shock Horror, a 2-for-1 deal. This 2-for-1 deal is better than anything that any other thing has to offer in comparison for Sunshine. Like, all the other Graces are better, all the other Seven Deadly Sins abilities are better, characters who aren't Seven Deadly Sins tier threats have better magics. Like, being real, something like Thunderbolt from Guild Thunder is a better magic than Sunshine, because guess what? At least he can use it at will. He can't be caught slipping. Like, unless he's literally knocked out, then... But, notably, it can be the middle of the night, the middle of the day, crack of dawn, or the sun going down, and guess what? Someone like Guild Thunder can use their magic, dog. They can use their magic. Escanor can't say that. Mael can't say that. Gawain can't say that. They do not have access to their power for a majority of the day. And on top of that, their power literally takes them out of this world, which is something that pretty much no other power. Sunshine is unique. It is the only power in the entire series to actively slay its own host, which is absolutely bonkers to me. Sunshine is cool. Sunshine is great. Sunshine is powerful. It's girthy. It's juicy. All that good stuff. But in the end, kind of bully meat. However, that's what I think. What do you guys think in the comment section down below? Do you think I'm sleeping on Sunshine too much? Do you think I'm underrating its power? Do you think that I'm being a little bit too harsh on it? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notifications to miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a page down below. Each video so as one, cut them one, dumb. Exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as little as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dagger the Pencil, writing off.